and welcome to episode 41 of the Footy with Fletch podcast. In today's episode, I'm joined by Lila Keck. Lila was selected by Carlton with pick 7 in the 2023 AFLW Draft. Hello, Lila. Thanks for joining me today on the podcast. How are you doing?
Hey Fletch, no worries. Thanks for having me. I'm going well.
It's obviously a very exciting time for you getting drafted by the Blues last year. What has it sort of been like being in and around the club?
Yeah, it's been amazing. A bit of a whirlwind, really. Still sort of settling in and letting it all sink in, and really digging deep and realizing that I've got a pretty cool job. So, yeah, the girls have been super welcoming. Yeah, so I've made some really, really good friendships there so far, and love the training and every aspect, really.
And you started playing footy when you were 5 years old. How did you find footy early on?
Yeah, so I've been playing, since I was 5. Pretty big footy family, so basically just surrounded by it by since day one. So my dad and my brother, uncles and cousins, and all of them really diehard footy players and footy fans. So yeah, sort of just latched on there.
What was it like to, I guess, grow up in a footy family? It must have been quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots and lots of fun. Lots of backyard um, goal kicking, smashing of windows, wrestling with the older brother. So yeah, no, it's always been fun, and yeah, it sort of gave me my love for it.
And you played footy with South Bendigo and the Sandhurst Football Club early on in your junior years. How did you find your time with both of the clubs?
Yeah, so it's played my super young years at South Bendigo until under 12s. Um, that was lots of fun in with the boys. So it was sort of just the start of it all. Got to learn a lot. And yeah, was sort of put through my paces because the boys are always a little bit rougher and harder to catch. And then, yeah, moved to Sandhurst in under 15 girls. Yeah, and that was good to join, obviously, my own gender and get to build some relationships and lifelong coaches as well. So, yeah.
And with Sandhurst, you played in 3 premierships in 4 years. What was that like for you? It must have been a really exciting time for you and for the club.
Yeah, definitely. 3 premierships. Definitely can't complain with that. I mean, premierships in the junior years aren't really too hectic, but yeah, good to have a couple of them to look back on.
And other than winning the 3 premierships, what would have been some of your other highlights of your junior career or early footy days?
Um, Probably playing 50 and 100 games. I mean, they're always important milestones. Coming away with a couple of best and fairest and league runners up, best and fairest as well. So, yeah, just those small individual accolades along the way. And then obviously the premierships as sort of a more collective accolade.
And you were a North Melbourne supporter growing up. What was it like to support the Kangaroos? Obviously, a bit of a roller coaster with the highs and the lows that the club's been through.
Yeah, I often cop a bit of flack for barracking for the Kangaroos, but yeah, so I'm a diehard fan, and I've been with them all the way through the highs and the lows. So there's no going back now, and I'm sure one day we'll come out the other side and hopefully win a premiership after way too many years.
And I guess given that you're now an AFLW player at Carlton, are you still going to sort of support the North Melbourne AFL men's team, or is your focus sort of all with Carlton?
No, definitely. I can't let the Kangas go. So yeah, sort of a bit of both now, I guess. I mean, you go into Carlton and you sort of make friends with the boys and get to know them, and a little bit more about sort of how they go about it, but definitely not won't leave North Melbourne behind.
And who were some footballers that you idolised growing up?
Yeah, so the likes of obviously Daisy Pearce from an AFLW side of things, and then yeah, your Paddy Cripps. Was a big fan of Jack Zeeble when he captained the Roos. Sort of all those high end players. Bit of Dusty Martin as well, and then Nat Fife.
How long have you wanted to play in the AFLW for?
As long as I can remember, sort of yeah. Ever since I started playing when I was 5, I was like, this would be awesome to be my job one day. But then it's sort of back in those early years, you didn't really think there was a pathway and thought maybe your dreams um, could never really become a reality. But here I am.
And you won 2 local under 18 Best and Fairest awards. What was that like for you?
It's always a confidence boost. I mean, I'm not really someone that um, goes off individual accolades. Yeah, they sort of come and go in your career, and I never really think about them. So I've been lucky to win 2 Best and Fairest, but um, yeah, they're always nice confidence boosters and sort of get you in the eye line of playing, state level football, and yeah, obviously you feel like you're being voted in as the best in the team, so that's always a nice feeling as well.
And you were named in the Coates Talent League Team of the Year as a 17-year-old. What does that mean to you? It must have been, I guess, a big honour for you.
Yeah, definitely huge honor, and a pretty big eye opener as well to sort of sit amongst the best in the league going into your draft year. Yeah, again, just that confidence and ability to believe in yourself for the next year ahead. Yeah, definitely held me in good stead. Recruiting wise.
And you missed 8 weeks of footy in 2023 due to ankle injuries. How difficult was it to deal with those ankle issues?
Yeah, I mean, injuries are never fun, no matter what they are, big or small. But yeah, I did my ankle in my first VFL match with Essendon, which really wasn't ideal, but a really, really good learning curve for me. And then I tapped into coaching and other aspects of footy on the outside that allowed me to grow and build my resilience. So in some way, I'm grateful that I was able to experience that before I made it to the elite level, and sort of know for next time, what I can do outside of it, and how to sort of deal with the setback.
And you went on to play 7 games last year and averaged 19 disposals. From the games that you played, what did you make of your season?
Um, Look, I played in a pretty average side, and not for any other reason that we were just inexperienced and a pretty young side. So I had a few really big jobs, few really big roles to sort of play in the Bendigo Pioneers side. So being captain and sort of trying to develop the younger girls to lift the standards and be able to get us on the park each week was sort of more my focus rather than individual performance. So yeah, the games that I did play, we obviously, yeah, as I said, struggled, but I felt like I could still impact where I was able to, and then yeah, sort of show my leadership in that as well.
And you mentioned captaining the side. How important do you think it was for you to be able to develop your leadership skills in that role?
Yeah, huge. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do is lead my peers. So to be given that opportunity, yeah, really, really gave me a huge focus to sort of step away from focusing on myself and what I needed to do, and it actually allowed me to sort of play better and really enjoy the year as well. Yeah, allowed me to build really close relationships with coaches and the girls as well. So yeah, it was yeah, something I really love to do, and yeah, leadership comes naturally to me. So definitely not something that sort of is a chore.
And if the opportunity at Carlton comes down the track and you could possibly be part of the leadership group or captain the side, Would that be something that you'd be interested in and open to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a goal as I get to play more games and sort of find my spot in the side. So yeah, to one day either captain or co-captain or even just be a leadership role of some description would be huge for me. And I think yeah, that's definitely by the end of my career, hopefully something that I've ticked off.
And you also mentioned that while you were out with injury, you participated in some coaching at the Bendigo Pioneers. What were sort of the areas that your role or you sort of focused on with the coaching aspect?
Yeah, it was sort of more of a holistic approach where I sort of did some line coaching through the forward and midfield alongside our appointed coaches. But yeah, I sort of just really just stood back and took in, the structure and really broke down what exactly we needed to do, and then yeah, passed that on to the girls. Where I needed to, pulled girls aside and just developed them individually, fixed some little skill errors and all of that. So yeah, it was really fun.
You can play as a midfielder and a small forward. Which role do you sort of prefer playing?
I think over the past probably 2 seasons, I've found myself um, preferably in the small forward role, considering one of my strengths is my goal sense and ability to to have really good forward craft. So if I can run through the midfield, I love that as well. But probably, definitely small forward role.
How have you sort of developed your forward craft and your goal sense?
I've always been someone that's really good at reading the play. So in the forward line, yeah, when it comes in, just that positioning around the front of the ball, and obviously being a little bit shorter, and more powerful than some of the other forwards in the comp, that sort of sets me apart. Sort of break away and find the positions to kick goals from, I guess.
And you touched on being a little bit shorter than, I guess, some other players. How challenging is that for you, or do you think it could sort of work in your favour given your speed?
Yeah, I think it has worked in my favour thus far. So yeah, I don't think. I mean, people always say, "Wow, you're tiny," and it's like, well, yeah, but sometimes good things come in small packages. I often say that saying a lot. Lots of people do comment on my height and maybe that they think it sort of impacts me negatively, but I think that it comes with good power and speed and I don't mind this height.
And obviously, another aspect of your game is your goal celebrations. What would be your go-to goal celebration and your favourite celebration so far?
Oh, I don't really have a favorite, but the go-to is probably just the run away with the finger up and point to the crowd in some way or another. So yeah, there's a few that are going to come out hopefully through the year. Just always love a bit of fun and sort of brings the energy, I guess.
Can you reveal what any of those goal celebrations are that we might see later on this year if you do get the chance to play at the Blues?
Look, I won't tell you any now. They're secrets, so you'll have to wait and see, Fletch.
We'll have to be watching, but I some of the celebrations that I've seen from you are absolutely fantastic, and the salt and pepper
Thank
shake
you.
is great. So how did that sort of come about, I guess?
Well, it's a little bit of a no-brainer, that one for me. I sort of just got in the moment. It was the first goal of the game in the first 5 minutes, and a pretty huge game to be playing in on Marvel Stadium. So I think it was probably just the adrenaline that brought it out. It didn't actually that was actually not pre-planned. So I gave it a go and it got some hype.
And who would have been your toughest opponent that you played on or against this season or last season?
Kaylee Kavanagh, she was pretty good for Metro. Locked me down. So yeah, probably her.
And she's obviously now at the Eagles. So are you looking forward to sort of playing against her if the opportunity does arise later this year?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we sort of don't have our positions obviously set in stone yet. So yeah, hopefully come across a fair few of the other girls that I know in this draft crop. So I'm looking forward to sort of yeah, meeting up with them on game day.
And you have a special friendship with Bright O'Rourke from the Geelong Cats. Can you talk me a little bit through that relationship and how that friendship came about?
Yeah, so Bridie and I have been friends for probably 5 or 6 years now, and found ourselves come real close through football and going to through the states and the rep sort of things. But yeah, we have a really, really special bond. And it's one where we sort of do everything together no matter what. And yeah, we've pushed each other to get here. We train together. We used to spend most days together. So yeah, having a best friend that sort of is in love with the game as much as you are, is prepared to do the work like you are, definitely makes things a little bit easier and pushes you as well. So yeah, I've been really grateful to have someone like Bridie who's sort of in the same position. So yeah.
And in 2021, you were a part of the under 17s AFLW National Championships where you played 2 games. What was it like to be a part of the under 17s National Champs team?
Yeah, so that was a huge call up for me. I mean, a massive confidence booster. I played um, in the junior one a couple of weeks before, and obviously, played a pretty good game, and then got the call up to play with the older girls. So it was a huge experience for me, and yeah, it sort of opened my eyes to working a little bit harder to definitely be in that position in my top age years. So yeah.
And then in 2022 and 2023, you were also a part of the under 18s AFLW National Championships. What do you think were some of the differences between the under 17s and the under 18s?
Well, under 17, just sort of you're playing against girls of your own age, and then as you move up to under 18s, they're obviously the draft crop and the best in the country. So yeah, huge difference in size and skill as well, but probably really tapped into the older girls to sort of feed off what they were going to get out of their top age year. That sort of helped me. Um, find my perspective for my top age year as well.
And in one of your matches for Vic Country last year against Vic Metro, you had 23 disposals, 4 inside 50s, and kicked a goal. What did you make of that performance, Lila?
That game was pretty good one for me. I was definitely happy with my performance after coming off sort of 12 weeks of injury and not being able to be my fittest, nor at my best self, going into the national champs. That second game against Metro was one I really needed to get right. I was sort of a bit flat the week before and probably not, as I said, at my peak. And national champs is huge for your draft year. So yeah, to have that game in the middle that I played somewhat well, I gave me a little bit of confidence and definitely helped me into the draft as well.
Who were some of the favourite teammates that you played alongside at Vic Country?
People like obviously Bridie, Shani Mason, Lily Jordan, Tyler Crabtree, Ash Centra was huge for me. So yeah, all those girls I had really good and still do have really good connections with most of the team.
And you also were a part of the AFLW Academy. How important do you think it was for you to be involved with that program?
That was my goal at the start of, at the end of my underage year going into my top age year was, that was my focus. And to get that call from Tarks to say that I'd been selected in it was absolutely massive for me and probably one of my biggest achievements to this day, apart from obviously being drafted this year. But yeah, to get to go into that into an extra high level um, environment with the girls that you're sort of up against, that all have the same interests, same. They're all like-minded people. Um, yeah, all striving to do the same thing, and having high-level coaches as well. Definitely was the highlight of my draft year.
And you also played for the AFL Academy in its match against the under-23 State League All-Stars team. How did you find that game?
Yeah. Oh well, that was the game that I did my stupid celebration in. So to start off the game like that was really good for me, and I thought I brought my strengths, and yeah, we played well as a team. We didn't get the win, but yeah, thought we all put our strengths together nicely and sort of yeah came off the ground at the end of the day pretty happy and felt pretty cool to be on Marvel Stadium for the first time, and yeah, it was a pretty awesome experience.
And what do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've learnt in your footy career so far?
I think for me, my goal was always to be drafted and sort of have those high end dreams. But probably my biggest thing was just to still enjoy your football. If you enjoy football, like your performance will come with that. So not sort of wasting all your energy stressing about maybe playing a shit game or something like that. Yeah, and just enjoy the culture. Really dig deep into the your teammates and your coaches and ask lots of questions. But yeah, for me, after coming off injury that I thought probably ended my whole season, after returning from that, it was all about just having fun and yeah, after missing it for so long, yeah, absolutely, just still have fun. Make sure you still love the game, and then your hard work and performance will come off the back of that.
And you played one game with Essendon's VFLW side where you suffered that ankle injury. Other than the ankle injury, how did you find that experience?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I felt right at home. Um, with the Dons, I sort of did a little bit of obviously training before that, and a little bit of AFLW training as well. So yeah, to get in with some of the girls that I knew, and obviously last year that was my highest level of experience. So to have that at the start of the year, to sort of have my expectations high going into sort of national champs and all of that was yeah held me in good stead.
You finished in the top 5 of the 2 kilometre time trial at the AFLW Draft Combine. Did you expect to sort of finish in the top 5?
Absolutely not. I did not expect to finish in the top five. It was actually sort of hard to know sort of where you sat because you all went in, you went in different groups. It was 3 groups or something, I think. So I had no idea until obviously the results came out. So definitely didn't expect to be sitting in the top five. But then again, yeah, running and my endurance and tank is again probably one of my better attributes. So to finish in the top five, yeah, really helped confidence wise as well.
Which AFLW clubs interviewed you in the lead up to the AFLW draft?
All of them but Richmond and the Western Bulldogs, and West Coast was the only interstate side, so that sort of cancels out maybe 5.
And what was it like to sort of be interviewed by those clubs, and what did that process sort of entail as well?
Yeah, I think being interviewed by clubs is always a sort of a nerve wracking and stressful time. Pretty intimidating experience, I must say, but definitely had a lot of fun with it. You sort of, you get to know the club and ask as many questions as you want. And they're interested in knowing about you and your strengths. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed my interviews. Um, and still, like, even though being at Carlton, I still know what all the other clubs are about, and what they stand for and all of that. So, yeah, getting
And
interviewed by clubs was, yes, it's stressful, but yeah, definitely exciting.
did you have any indication or inkling that Carlton were going to select you on draft night?
No, absolutely no inkling at all, which was sort of the fun of it. I mean, my manager said to me, I can tell you, um, your best option, the one that we think is going to take you and has the most interest. And I was like, I don't want to know. Sort of let the nerves settle, and then to be read out by Carlton and then being my first preference to ever be drafted to was absolutely, mind blowing.
Why were Carlton your first preference to want to play with the Blues?
I think they have a really really strong crop of young girls, their values and what they stand for, and the culture, their integration with the men's side. They're a really holistic club that sort of makes everyone and anyone feel welcome. The moment I walked in there for my interview with them, and then doing some of the AFLW Academy um, training there and their facilities. It was just, from the moment I walked in there, I was like, I would love to be here.
And how was the AFLW draft night and the experience for you?
It's a bit of a blur, actually. I mean, to be invited was a huge thing for me, and sort of gave you a little bit of confidence going into the night. Obviously, sitting on the couch at home and not knowing when your name might be called out indefinitely um, makes things a little bit more stressful. But to be sitting there and watching your friends be drafted before you or after you, and watching it all unfold right there and then, was so much fun and so exciting. Yet some of it, is definitely a blur. You sort of just sit there and basically block out anything else until your name gets read out.
And a couple of weeks ago, you went on a bike ride with several Carlton AFLW players and the coach, Matthew Buck. What was that experience like and how did you find it?
It was a bloody hard ride, but it was lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. Bucky came up with it off his own back and thought it was going to be, a really great experience for us to sort of bond, and particularly for me being new, going away with the girls and getting to know them outside of training times or in the gym or anything like that. So lots of fun. It was really hard, really difficult. Definitely was a physical challenge and a mental challenge, but something that I definitely do again.
Have any players at Carlton taken you under their wing early on in your career?
Definitely Kez. Me and Kez have got a special connection. That's really special, obviously, because she's the captain and she's from my hometown. And sort of definitely has taken me under her wing. With the likes of a lot of the younger girls like Keely Skepper and Yaz Dersma, Brooke Vickers, Keely Shearer, Mim Hill. So they've all been really good.
And you've relocated from Bendigo to Melbourne. How have you found that move and transition?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. I'm living with some family friends down here, so it's sort of like living with family, to be honest. So it hasn't been difficult at all. I mean, I miss home and my friends, obviously, and you sort of have to build a whole new routine and network around you. But I've definitely enjoyed the challenge, and I think it'll get easier when I start to find my routine and go to footy and have contact hours, I guess.
Do you have any pre-game superstitions or rituals that you undertake?
So my breakfast always has to be the same. 4 Weet-Bix with milk and honey with a bit of banana on top. I'm also right sock, left boot, right sock, right boot, and then left sock, left boot. And I just normally go for a morning walk and get a coffee. And I have to have 10 minutes of doing nothing with music in.
And what would be your go-to pump-up song before a game, or I guess your favourite song to listen to?
Probably "Wow" by Post Malone.
I will have to check that out because I must admit I don't know it at the moment.
Give it a listen. It's good.
And outside of your footy commitments, are you studying at university or working part-time? If so, what are you sort of doing?
Yeah, so I just started a part-time uni degree of osteo, so osteopathy, which I've enjoyed so far and sort of fills in a little bit of time. It's a pretty long course, so I'm about 2 weeks in with 9 years to go. Um, so yeah, I've enjoyed that so far, and I'm also doing a little bit of part-time work at a cafe, just local down the street. So yeah, that also fills in a bit of time and takes me away from being at the club all the time.
And I've heard you're a barista as well. What would be your go-to coffee to make?
Um, Probably a cappuccino.
I personally don't drink coffee, but I know that cappuccinos are a go-to. Is there something that not many people know about you, Lila?
Um, I mean, lots of things, but probably people don't think that I get nervous or can get shy, considering my outgoing and confident personality. But when it comes to a game or something like that, I often sort of hide in my shell. Not many people know that I have. So yeah, probably that.
And do you have any footy goals or ambitions this season?
Definitely to find my spot in the team. Hopefully, I mean, the one at the moment is to play any game this year, whether that be round one or round seven or whatever. Definitely to play, but also to get through preseason and really put my best foot forward. Obviously, all the girls, or most of the girls that are at Carlton have done it all before. So probably, yeah, jumping under one of their wings and yeah, really learning off them about how to go about the whole preseason and where I sort of fit in.
And just finally, the VFLW season commences on the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of March. Have you been informed if you were going to play any VFLW matches for the Blues?
Yeah, so I will be playing a few matches. I think a total of 4 or 5. So not unsure what those rounds are yet, but yeah, definitely have a run through there and yeah, let the cobwebs out. I haven't played footy for a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much, Lila, for jumping on the podcast for a chat. It was awesome to talk to you and all the best of luck this year. And I can't wait to see what some of those goal celebrations are.
Thanks so much, Fletch. Appreciate your time. Thanks for reaching out.